So you're on Vancouver Island?
I'm on the island, yeah.
OK. But
Yeah.
where was the famous moment when Pamela Anderson got discovered at the football game? Where was that?
I went to a BC Lions football game, and I was wearing a Labatt's beer T-shirt because that's how you got in for free. And my friends convinced me to go. And the cameraman zoomed in on me and put me up on the Jumbotron. And they said, stand up. And so I did, and they had me going like this all night. And on Monday Night Football, so I became like the Blue Zone girl.
I think we've got a picture. Have we got a picture of the... Oh, there he was, the Blue Zone girl.
Wow.
Wow.
I look like Dylan. I look like my son. Yeah.
So, that's amazing.
That was it.
Yeah.
That was the start. And then, yeah, Playboy called, and then Baywatch, and then, you know, the drill, barbed wire.
And before that moment, before you were on the big Jumbotron screen, what did Pamela Anderson want to do? What was your dream?
I thought I would do something, you know, with animals. Probably be, who knows? I mean, I was a waitress / I worked at a tanning salon.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just moved to the big city of Vancouver off the island. Even that people don't really leave the island a lot. So that was a brave move of mine, and I didn't know what was going to happen. It was my first plane ride when I went to Los Angeles.
Wow.
And, yeah.
So you were literally discovered in that way?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I went to LA, and, you know, it just, little by little, I went to the Playboy Mansion. I remember someone calling me and saying, Pamela, you're invited to fight night at the mansion. I said, I'm not fighting anybody. I thought they were going to be mud wrestling or something, and I was like, no, I think I'll skip that. And they go, no, Mike Tyson's fighting. It's a TV, Disney, going to watch it all together. But yeah, and my ex-husband's a boxer.
Oh.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I'm looking at you. Yeah, it's very, like...
Pam, I think you're lovely, but my missus had killed me.
That's very attractive that you're married.
Very good. When you started your career, the one thing that really does come across in the book is how available sex was.
Yeah, I mean, look.
I mean, fabulous, but...
In the 80s, it was on.
Yeah. Because you would watch MTV.
Look, I was... I was not... It's in the book, by the way. It's all in the book. I was not above using MTV as sort of the home shopping network.
But that's amazing. You would just ring up MTV and
walk
go...
us through this.
Here's how it goes.
How did you do that?
I'm solving all your love life problems right here. Here's what
And
you
you're
do.
sitting next to a woman, so what?
Okay, so here's what you do. Hold your ears. Here's the deal. You watch MTV.
Right.
You see the Sting video. There's a girl dancing with the chair, a little blonde bob at the end of it. You go, that's... You call MTV. You go, hey, it's Bradley Cooper here. Yeah, Hangover. That's right. In many, many other movies. A-Team. Yes, me. That ripped guy, that's me. And I like that girl. Can you get me your phone number? And they give it to you.
Wow.
So MTV is basically a pimp operation. That's okay.
Yeah.
Need to know.
They've probably, Human Resources Department has probably worked things out a little bit better than they were in the late 80s, but that was sort of...
But the ego. I mean, the fact that you think these... But Alex,
They all said yes, Alex!
the fact that you think they're all going to say yes.
They did all say yes!
Listen, it's like Ty Cobb said, it ain't bragging if you done it.
And those are the women that you did want, but then there were kind of the fans that presumably, you know, you weren't that keen. Like, didn't your grandparents have a horrible experience?
Well, yeah, I mean, and this is, listen, my story is, it happens to anybody who's in that moment in time where you're that guy. It's happening to this one right now. Admit it, I know people are breaking into your grandparents' house in Missouri, like they did mine, in the middle of the night and going, where's Bradley Cooper? And my parents were like, not here. And if he were here, he wouldn't be in our bed. What? So, yeah, you know, who knows?
There's a very sweet, your very, very first fan letter you ever got.
Oh, yeah, isn't that sweet? Isn't that
You
nice?
put it in the book. Would you mind reading it?
I saved it. I was 15 years old. I was on a bad sitcom, and the producers came down one day, said, here's your bag of fan mail. I never had a bag of fan mail in my life. I was so excited, and I picked it up, and I saved it. And I'll read it to you. Where is it? Here's... Dear Mr. Roblo, I enjoyed you very much on the TV show The New Kind of Family. You are a great actor. Can you please send me an autographed photo of yourself, if possible, in a bathing suit or in your underwear? Sincerely, Michael LeBron, Number 44412, Pelican Bay State Prison.
Isn't that great? And you mentioned decades, Cameron. I think this year, it's 30 years since you made your first movie, The Mask.
Oh.
I think that's right. Yeah.
There you go.
And because it's your first film, and it reading about you, it didn't sound like you were, that mad keen to be an actor. At what stage during that movie did you kind of get, oh, actually, I can do this. I'm quite good at this.
You know, the director, Chuck Russell, who found me and said, like, you're my Tina. And I was like, okay. You know, I'm a model. I'm like, okay, I don't act. And he was like, trust me, this is gonna be your part. I know you can do it. He really walked me into it in the most kind and gentle and generous way.
Yeah.
Has there ever been a moment, though, in cinema? I just remember your entrance in The Mask.
Oh, my God.
And with the red dress.
Yeah.
And it pans up.
Oh, there you are.
I give all the credit to that. I remember Chuck Russell said to me, you know, we're standing on the street, we're in downtown Los Angeles, and he said, I'm sorry this is taking so long, but this has to be perfect. He goes, I see it in my mind. This is your introduction, and I have the shot, the perfect shot that I'm going to introduce you to the world with. And I'm sitting there like this, okay, whatever. You know, with my hills and standing on the street, like, hi guys, what's going on? And then he's like, okay, and he's like, just walk towards the camera, and they had it on the crane, and he did that, and I have him to thank for it.
But he was like, that is a superstar.
Yeah, and that was Chuck doing his thing for me. I mean, he's just and by the way, the nicest human being, and never there's a lot of stories in the world where you get like that creepy director that tries to take advantage of the situation because he's like, you're my man. Chuck was always a gentleman and really just a genuine person who gave me an opportunity because he saw something. And I'll always appreciate him and love him for that.
Yeah.
We won't tell you.
Julie, the movie that I guess changed your life, Pretty Woman. We're all Americans now. But what I didn't understand was that movie, when you signed up, was a much darker project.
Yeah. Well, and I auditioned for this movie that was called 3,000, which was the amount of money that he paid her for their time together. And she was a drug addict, and it was not a healthy relationship. And the movie ended by him pulling down this side street in Los Angeles, and they have a fight, and he just says, get out, and he kind of throws her out of the car, throws the money on her, and drives away. The end. And so I got that part in that movie and felt really proud. And then the company that was making it folded, and the movie disappeared, and I was crushed. And the next thing I knew, they said, oh, Disney picked up this film. To which one says, oh, naturally. Right. And Gary Marshall's gonna direct it. I was like, oh, of course. This makes perfect sense to me. And so I went in to meet Gary, and he told me all the ways he was gonna change this and make it funny.
And am I right that they were still kind of writing it as you were filming?
Yes, we would maybe break for lunch at 10:15 in the morning because we were out of pages. And we would just kind of make it up.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah.
And what
Gary would do things like this. You can attest to this.
Yes.
Be funny, action.
Yeah. Try to make it lively with some humor. Say a thing that will make her laugh.
Yeah.
And then you say a thing that will make him laugh. Do something.
Yeah. And somebody get me some tuna.
Yeah, and I need tuna now.
And is it true, Julia, that you go to see your own films in movie theaters?
Not really. That sounds like I'm very interested in myself.
But you have been to the movie.
I have. Yes, I have. I have seen myself in movies.
Was it Mystic?
Very good.
Was it Mystic Pizza? Yeah, you are very good. Yeah. No one's going to disagree. You've got prizes. But did you go to see Mystic Pizza, or was Mystic Pizza out and you went to see a movie?
So when Mystic Pizza came out, Mystic Pizza, which was, look at us. Look at us. Look at the cheeks on me. That is a sign of youth. I went home to Smyrna, Georgia, where I'm from, to visit my mom, and we went to the movies at a movie theater that was across from the yogurt shop where I used to work at the mall. And we went to the movies, and after the movie, we went to the bathroom, as one does, and I hear this voice say, "Hey, girl in stall number 1, were you in Mystic Pizza?" And I said, yeah. "Will you sign this and this piece of paper and a pen?" And I said, I can't do that right now.
Well, did you sign "Much love, girl in stall"?
Stall number 1.
Hey, now, here's the way. Joshua Jackson, I'm not saying you look older. You don't look older, but it is annoying to find that you are still only 31. Because you've been around forever.
Yeah, long time. Things
is
count off in decades all of a sudden, which is annoying for me, too. This is a funny picture that haunts me through my life here. I think that was almost at the very end of Dawson's Creek. I guess it's been long enough ago now that I can admit that I was brutally hungover this morning. I forgot that we had work. This was on a Saturday. And I'm about 15 minutes after waking up here in this photograph, which has been airbrushed to put a smile on my face.
Is that your hammock?
The stunt hammock.
Okay.
And I have to say, because over the years I interviewed the three of you from Dawson's Creek, and I think the casting person must have been really good, because I remember being really impressed by all three of you of how kind of funny and bright and together you were, and you hadn't.
We've all completely come apart at the same
Yes.
time.
No, you've all done very well. And Katie, she was at the awards last night, wasn't she?
Yeah, we didn't bump into
week.
each other, but yes.
Yeah.
They cleared out everything.
I know, it was amazing.
Tom Cruise is here.
Yeah.
He can't be in the VIP room with us.
Is there a VVIP?
Yes, it's just a VIP room that only he can go in, and it's hypodermic chamber. It's crazy, man.
You think you've got sides?
Oh, I do. Oh, we all know what our good side is. I'll show it if you can come close.
Okay,
let's. A hideously embarrassing close-up.
Okay.
All right, I will show you right now. Should I start with the good side or the bad side?
Good side.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. This is my good side. Now, I don't know why, but I have a jaw, and I have a chin, and I have a, back of the flathead. Actually, could you come around sort of like 3/4-ish a little bit? Okay, there. Okay, yeah, okay, there. Is that it? Come in a little tighter, please. A little tighter. All right, so far, we're still doing okay. It's all right. It's not bad. All right, now, stay there and just watch this. Oh, dear. Look at that. The neck goes away. The nose becomes this malformed thing. I got half a cheek sticking out right here. So I essentially, kind of go from Richard Gere to Richard Nixon. You have nothing but good side.
Gemma, do you have a side?
Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
When you do a photo shoot, do you favour a side?
I think this is my better side, but then...
Then we can never work together. Yes, we'd have to do all of our love scenes. I love you, Gemma. I love you. You must leave, but we can never do it.
They did it in the 30s. That's like Cary Grant and Rosalind Russell kind of thing.
What about yourself, Joseph? Are you aware of a side?
Should I be?
No, I don't know.
Tell me. I mean, I'm willing to learn.
Shall we vote?
Yeah.
Let's have a look. Let's have a look.
Give us three.
Okay.
Let's by applause only.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Side.
Liking it.
Four.
So now he's got it.
Billy Piper, established, respected actor now, but oddly, it was kind of acting that got you into pop music, because you used to do ads.
Yeah, I used to do loads of commercials as a kid.
And then what happened? A producer saw you in an ad?
We were, like, relaunching the Smash Hits magazine, and I became, like, the poster girl for that. And we did a few commercials, and then I was on the front of Music Week magazine. And this guy, not any guy, Hugh Goldsmith, who was still a friend of mine, came to find me at school, which sounds dodgy.
It was a different time.
And asked me if I'd consider doing a demo tape.
Let it all out, Bill. Let it all out. You're in a safe place.
And that was that.
So we've got...
Weren't you 15 or something?
I was 14 then.
Wow.
But this is the ad that he saw, and I thought, I can make that girl a star.
Smash Hit, 100% pure pop.
It's like time has stood still. Here you are, and the Spice Girls are still going. It's amazing.
I know.
Was basketball tuba a thing then? Like, what's...
In England, that was massive.
Was that a thing?
You, Grant, I want to take you back to your beginnings as an actor. Now, how old were you when you became a sort of actor/model?
Oh, I know where you're going. It is true that when I was still a student, I humiliatingly did accept some holiday jobs doing those photo love albums. My Guy, Oh Boy. Actually, they were meant to be 13, 14-year-old, but I was so underdeveloped at the age of 21, I could still do it. And these things crop up from time to time, and there is a... Yes, go on, bring one out.
Yes, I know. You know they're back here.
Yeah.
The one I've got, the one I like is Secret Love. Secret Love. You didn't make the cover, I'm afraid.
No, sadly not, no.
But you are in here. Look at you. Oh, look, there's you there.
Yes.
Yeah.
You see, rather good acting.
It is. Now, what are you thinking? Oh, Teresa, I tried... What did it say?
I just hope that past year has changed you as much as you say it has, for your sake.
Oh. And then here you are with Teresa.
Yeah.
Now, poor old Teresa.
Is she blind?
And we're not sure.
She may well have been when she's buying that duffel coat.
I like her line here. A guy like him would never like an ugly girl like me. She's not wrong. But then, in a twist, she does transform. And look, she comes out. Look how beautiful she is when she gets back.
Yes. What's nice is a lot of that shot in my parents' house, actually. You got double the money if you got location fee as well as...
Genius!
Yeah,
but
genius.
I do think there's a sort of an art to acting like that. So I've got a little a frame. Can we put up the frame? So we put that up. So if you're looking a bit bored back there,
right?
You're just looking bored, right? So Graham has set the evening up in a bid to meet Dishy you, okay? So I'm thinking now. I'm thinking. It's good.
Is it good?
It was good.
Yeah.
It's good. Yeah.
Maybe I was too big. Did I do too much?
No.
Oh, okay.
You were excellent.
Okay.
Excellent.
I like a lot of praise.
Yes. Very. You were the best.
Was I?
Yes. It was worth it because you were in it. Yes.
Not just saying.
No. I mean it. Absolutely. It's a fight movie, and the fight scenes are spectacular. I mean, they look incredibly realistic. How much physical contact was there?
all physical. You know, one of the things I learned from this director I worked with, Chad Stileski, on John Wick, was if the real performers, the real actors are doing it for real, then you can put the camera anywhere you want. You don't have to create shots to hide that you don't have the real actors in the shot, right? So learning all the disciplines were key to me. And also key to me was getting the current flyweight, UFC flyweight champion, Valentina Shevchenko. She was my opponent. So I got to really fight her. So I had to really train. I trained for about 2.5 years and up my game and really be prepared for this moment.
But fighting a real fighter, was she able to kind of hold back?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. On day 2 of the fight, it was a 5-day fight sequence. And of course, we shot that at the beginning because we had now trained, we were all ready, we knew our choreo. And day 2 into the 5-day fight, she kicked me and broke 2 ribs. And
she was fired.
No.
Were you able, but what,
No.
did that shut down production or anything, or?
No, it threatened to, but I knew that if I told anyone and told the insurance that I had broken 2 ribs, they would have shut me down. And I knew that I might never get back to this movie again. And I had put too much into it. I'd worked too hard. I'd come too far. I'd fought too hard. So the funny thing happens, because I'd been training to be a fighter for 2.5 years, I think the fighter side of my training took over. And as all fighters, when you're in the ring, if you get injured, stopping isn't an option. You just keep going. You just have to keep going. So I made the decision to not tell anybody, keep going. And once we finished the fight, then I told everybody, oh shit, I think I broke something. I have to go to the hospital. And sure enough, I had broken something.
Wow. Now, because everyone who works with you, they always say you make work fun. Is that?
I didn't say that.
You didn't
no,
say
no,
that.
I didn't say that.
No, I did not.
Yes, you did. You said people. Actually, it sounds kind of annoying. You said people whistled on their way to work when George was on set.
Well, I whistled. Happily so. Yeah, no, he does. He's the man that. No, come on, you.
Let me just say, we had a lot of doctor talk between us.
We did.
There was a lot of.
I didn't understand any of it, but we did have it.
I was surprised you didn't remember. You didn't remember any of it.
None of it. No. He remembers whole reams of stuff, which from considerably longer ago, and I cannot remember any of it. I could remember it 10 minutes after I've said it.
So the gobbledygook about half a statin of blah, 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 you know all that.
What was that really long word that you would say?
Supraventricular tachyarrhythmia.
Yeah, that's good.
Now, I'll tell you this.
So good.
When we shot that scene, I did not get that word right. But I've never gotten it wrong since then.
It was a horrifying experience. But I think that, how long did you do the show?
8 years.
8 years? And you don't remember any of it?
Nope. I tell you, the one thing I have carried over from then is when I do play another role now and a director says action, I start limping. I'm just like a sort of a dog who's had electrodes attached to him. I just start limping.
Default.
Did you ever switch canes just to
throw people?
Just throw people off?
Yes, I did.
You did?
I did. I switched canes, I switched limps. Nobody noticed.
No, they don't. They don't care. They don't care.
And Britt, if you had to choose, I mean, I don't wish you ill,
Oh,
but if
no.
something bad had happened, if you were feeling a bit
don't
poorly...
make her choose.
Between the doctors?
Yeah. Who would you go to? Would you go to Dr. House there?
Well, it depends on the illness, because you were great with like specialty issues, right? You would
Yes.
always
Oh,
find,
yeah.
you would figure out
Yeah,
the
it was
problem.
pigeon poo from Africa or something, always with him, yeah.
I don't remember. If you say so.
You were on a show called How?
You know this. No, I think because you would always look, you would look past the obvious choice, the obvious diagnosis. So I don't know. He may have a one-up on you.
Well, he does, because I was a pediatrician, so you're too old now.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you're just like, pass, I don't care.
It's the right choice for me, I think. Yeah.
Just keep pushing that gurney. She's not stopping here. Because the thing about, I suppose, your career, you were an actor and you were doing well, you were in things. You know, you had a career that lots of actors would have liked to have had, you know, being in TV shows and making a living.
Right. Well, later in my life, it took a long time to get there. I did a lot of very questionable jobs along
But they were
the way.
jobs.
Sure, yeah.
You know, and then, but then ER came along and...
Everything changed.
Yeah, and I read an interview, you can pinpoint the moment when you sort of stopped being a jobbing actor and...
Yeah, there you go. That's a good look right
That was
there.
the moment.
I always love when they show that picture and then they cut back to you and they're like, oh.
Wow. Don't applaud that! Don't clap!
the truth. Because we were like this. No. Stop.
You look fine, sir. You look fine.
You're doing okay.
Yeah, I remember a moment, because, you know, there's a moment when, you know, getting famous is when they actually know your name. And I remember being in New York, I think, after, because, you know, the show came out, and people forget about what the kind of numbers our show did. But in the United States, we had shows we did 45 million people watching. You know, now the biggest show will do 15 or 20, you know, it's 18 million people. We were averaging 35 and 40 million people. So it was overnight one of those just, everyone was just obsessed with the show. We were on the cover of Newsweek after about 2 weeks. So we'd gone from absolute obscurity, you know, no one knew who we were. In fact, we shot the pilot and the show was picked up, and we went across the street. There's a place called Smokehouse, which is a restaurant, to eat. It was like all the actors, Tony Edwards, Juliana Margulies, all of us. And we're dressed in our doctor schmucks because we're doing a show. But the show hasn't been on the air yet. And Tony has a little baby boy who he gives a French fry to, and he starts like to choke on the French fry. And now you've got 6 actors, not and we're like, somebody do something! And everybody in the restaurant's like, do something! What's wrong with you people?
Yeah, never go to that hospital.
No.
That's a terrible hospital right there.
Because, Rachel, your son Henry has a kind of a similar... There's you, and then there's this other woman.
Yeah, he actually has never seen any of my films. He's completely, delightfully, totally uninterested in seeing any of them. Even though now he's 9 and he would be able to see, for instance, The Mummy, but he's just not interested. So he's never seen The Other Woman.
He's gonna love The Lobster.
Go upstairs, gonna dig it. Yeah.
And now, Colin, you've got a son Henry as well.
I have a son Henry as well, yeah.
And now, was it Father's Day when... Who sent you the text? Because he can't have sent you the text.
He's not texting yet with his 6-year-old fingers. I'm sure some 6-year-olds are texting and rapidly. But he is tweeting. No, he's not tweeting. Basically, on Father's Day, they asked, the teachers asked the kids in his class, we're going to come around you all, and any of you who have fathers, that is, and ask you what you want to say to your dads, and then we'll transcribe it. And so they sent home a letter, which spontaneously I happen to have queued up on my phone. And because I was asked to read it, because it's just kind of gorgeous and ridiculous.
So he dictated this to the teacher?
Yeah.
And it says... And how old was he when he wrote this?
He was 4 when he said these words.
Okay.
And he said, my dad, he's a lot of fun, and I like him a lot. He has blonde hair... and he's very handsome and wears a good shirt, good pants and good shoes. Oh. We play and I watch a movie with him and my mummy is in it and I am in it in the sky, he says that. That's because I met his mother on a film. But yeah, but the bit about the blonde hair had me a little obviously concerned and I was going to reach out for a home kit paternity test. But... Can you imagine the teacher's reaction when he said that as well? But maybe saw Alexander. No, because he still talks to me.
Okay.
Rachel, you were very well behaved, weren't you? I imagine you were very well behaved always.
I was very, very naughty.
Were you really?
It's what you're meant to do when you're a child and adolescent, isn't it? I got expelled from school and...
Did you?
Yes!
What did you do? What did you do?
Or as my mother always says, you weren't expelled, you were asked to leave.
And you accepted.
Yeah.
What did you do? Can you tell us, or is it terrible?
Well, there wasn't one big event. I didn't try and set the school on fire or, you know... It was just... I had an authority issue, so I didn't believe that anyone had the right to tell me what to do, so I would just... disrupt classes and answer back. I just was very, very, very disruptive. Yep.
Wow.
Good for you.
And have you got over it? Because it must be quite hard with directors and things. Is that quite hard if you don't like being told what to do?
Well, now I don't mind a bit of authority. I'm all right with it now.
Hello.
Just a little...
Oh, you flirt. That was, I mean, it's extraordinary. That was 20 years ago.
Yeah, I know.
Those are the first 2 singles, weren't they?
Yeah, we Rewind and then we had Film Me in 7 Days, but it feels like only yesterday, it really does.
Yeah, well, it does, listening to them, it does, actually, because they really stand up.
Yeah, and you know, and that's, I feel very fortunate that over the 20 years to have, like, the fans who've been there from the first time round. and then seeing
Still alive.
They're still alive. They're still alive and kicking. They're kind of... But then seeing the older brother and sisters coming through, and then seeing the younger generation. So I've got this wide demographic of people.
But also, it's funny you say
outside.
that thing the first time round, because you did that thing, you burst onto the music scene, you know, and like pop stars do, you burnt really brightly, and then, as these things do, you know, it drifted away, you went off to Miami, and we kind of knew you were in Miami, and da-da-da. And then when you came back, you were so instantly cool again. Like, which was like the world decided, Craig David, cool again. I mean, how did that happen?
Do you know what it was? I mean, Miami was... I mean, it was great for me for the period of time I was there. And I was throwing a house party there, which was...
But in your house?
In my house. It started off as like 10 people, pre-drinks before we went out. Nice and easy. Couple shots and we were good. And then it kind of word of mouth spread and people were like, oh, can I come to TS5? And they were texting their mates, can I come to TS5? And then it just sort of built to the point where I was playing to like nearly 100 people in my home, which was... You'd think it was strange, but actually it was... Everyone respected it like it was my home. But there was a moment where I remember we'd had a couple of drinks anyway, and I'm playing my music, I'm on the mic, everyone's having a good time, drinks on tap, food there. I look over and I'm like, I swear there's Leonardo DiCaprio over there. Is that Leonardo over there? And I'm like, it can't be. It must be the drink getting me a little bit waved. So I just carried on, like, playing. Thought nothing of it. The following day, they said, did you see when Leonardo was in your house? I was like, no, I thought it was the drinks. I was looking. It was just crazy to go from, like, 10 people with my mates
to Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, coming through. So
But no, it's so weird. You've been to Australia.
Yes, I have. Yeah.
And now you had an incident. I think, was it in a zoo? You had an incident.
Oh, yes, it was.
So you're there and you were visiting his emus.
What happened was, see, there's this zoo and it's in Australia, right? And we go up and the zoologist, and I don't do dialects very well, but he was Australian and he said something to the effect of, now, I'll try it. You got to be really careful as it is mating season for the emus. Don't turn your back on them. I took it as a challenge. So anyway, we went and looked at emus, about like that, and I was looking at an emu, and suddenly, what the hell? There's an emu behind me with like a bird boner. I mean, what the hell? I'm telling it like it was, and it was not like, you know...
Was it impressive?
It didn't look like lipstick, I'll tell you that.
Well, you don't expect it from a bird, somehow.
No, you don't. I mean, monkeys, I know. I will not work with monkeys at all, ever again, because if they get frustrated, for instance, then they'll disappear up into the rafters and start pulling the set apart and masturbating. Why are you laughing? It's the truth. It's serious. This is what I do for a living. And that monkey that you saw in that picture, that one, I don't know if you have it again, but yeah, that one, you little asshole.
Is he biting you there?
You know what he's doing? He's wearing a fur bikini because he's got a perpetual erection.
So what, they put a little bit of fake fur
Yeah,
on
they
him?
had to build him a little fur bikini to put on him.
Look! Oh, there it is! Look, you can see it!
He would get ticked off, and what he was doing, he pulled part of the hairpiece off instead. And I thought, well, that's not good. And then he got really angry with me, and he climbed up and went and had a wank somewhere. As all good actors do.
Yeah! And obviously, you know, inspiration for songs comes from all over the place, you know, things. But there's one track on here that I think most people wouldn't assume was inspired by your new baby son.
Yeah. I wrote a song about my daughter and it's called Go Gentle.
That's beautiful.
Thank you very much. And it's definitely a sort of loving, I'm having a daughter. So I decided to write a song for him. It's called Mother.
Can't stop the feeling.
It can be the first dance at his wedding.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be. Yeah.
So now that you know, here you are, the 11th album, and, you know, happily married, you've got your children now. But over the years, I mean, fans, you must have had kind of some wild fan encounters. Like, what is the maddest thing a fan has given you or done or whatever?
Herpes. Justin knows she can't get it twice. So, I'll get in a lot of trouble for telling this story. Ooh. Okay. So
it's not too late to back out.
It is. Shut up.
Sorry.
I mean,
go.
Okay. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm telling this, but I will. So back in the day, I was renting a castle, right?
Of course you were.
Yeah. Because that's my life. I was renting a castle, and we were renting it to rehearse in for a tour. And I was in this big room in this castle. I'd gone to sleep, and I'd woke up, and I was lying on my bed, and I was cognizant, and I was awake, but I hadn't opened my eyes yet. And I was getting more and more confused because I could swear there was somebody in my room, and I could swear that they were sort of tidying up or cleaning or something, and sure enough, I opened my eyes, and there was a lady at the bottom of the bed. Now, and she could have been anywhere from 28 to 58. And she got this headset on, and it had got a sellotape on, and the lead went down to a cassette player. Now, we were way in the days of CDs at this time, and I was like, wow, this situation's really odd, but you just woke up, so you don't really know what's going on. And she looks at me, and I look at her, and I went, all right? And she went, all right? And she looked on the floor where my underpants were, and she went, Calvin Klein's? And I went, yeah? She went, I'm like, OK, this is definitely really weird. And she went, have you got Morning Glory? And this is back in the day when I used to have Morning Glory. So I was like, yeah. He says, I'll you off. Right? I'm a creative fella, and I'm really young. I can close my eyes and pretend it's somebody else. So I was like, yeah, go on then. So anyway, she does the dirty deed, and it's confusing, and I felt defiled. And off she went on her merry way. And that night, I was with the lady that ran the castle. It was her job to run the castle. I said, you know what? I said, your cleaner's weird. And she said, what do you mean? I said, the cleaner that came in today, she's weird. She said, we don't have cleaners on a Wednesday. It's just somebody that had walked in off the street with a feather duster, come up and give me a and then left. But not only that, cut to, like, 3 years later, I'm with my band, and I'm like, and it was just a lady that had come up, give me a and left. And my guitarist went, no. That's Maureen from the pub. She said she did that, but nobody believed her.
Too soon? No, my friend. Too late.
Right.
That is...
I mean, that's the best thing that's good. We can all go home now. That's the best thing.
Does anybody else just on my President Obama stuff?
I'll give you the address of the castle. Maureen will definitely come and visit you.
I just assumed that you were all friends before the first film, but you weren't.
We met each other. I knew David and Steve a little bit, but we didn't know each other.
And I knew David.
And I didn't know you.
I never met him.
I'd never met you.
No.
None of us knew you.
No.
I knew you. And I kind of knew the two Swedish guys.
So this one is, it's 10 years after the first one.
Right. 1980.
And Ron and Veronica happily married.
Right.
Very nice.
They look like douchebags, don't they?
Well, you're very much in love, but I hear that you didn't look forward to the kissing scenes.
What?
You said this in print.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
That's not what you told
That's
me,
not
though.
No. I have a picture of him in my locker. Are you kidding me? No, I think I've been I think I've been misquoted.
I love that you have a locker.
I think someone... I do.
In Christina's defense, my mustache, when I grow it out, is very bristly.
It's pokey.
And uncomfortable. And as my 3-year-old says, a bit scratchy.
Yeah. But I love doing those scenes with him because I think that Ron and Veronica's sexual tension is some of my favorite stuff from the original too. Just how aggressive and animalistic and a little disgusting it is. It makes me super happy.
And they're going to show it to you right now.
On New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
No, because we imagine that it's kind of wigs and things, but it's not like... Paul, that hair is yours.
That's all me, yeah. The hair,
But
mustache.
the hair is... You should look at that. It's like a... It's beautiful. It's beautiful
gorgeous.
hair.
It's gorgeous. Yeah. Thanks. I must say I kind of grew accustomed to it, and getting a haircut and shaving afterwards was a bit traumatic.
Because didn't everyone assumed your moustache was fake?
Everyone, yeah, for some reason, I have the ability to grow a mustache that everyone thinks is a fake mustache. That looks like a fake. But that's a real mustache right there.
It does look fake.
But then they think my hair is real, but that's a wig.
Oh.
Yeah. It's a wig and a real mustache, but it looks opposite.
You're messing with our minds.
This is a $40,000 toupee.
Steve,
that is $40,000.
That's the other Christmas present.
I heard you talking about reading the script for The Substance, and you said it reminded you of reading the script for Ghost.
Yeah, because there's something about, you know, when I read The Substance, I thought, wow, this could be really amazing, or it could be a fucking disaster. And so, of course, I had to say yes. And I feel like Ghost was very similar. It's like, okay, we're gonna do a comedy, a thriller, and a romance. Okay. But I think when we push ourselves out of our comfort zone, when we do things that make us a little afraid, it always makes us a little better, even if it fails.
And wasn't there a moment when like, the reviews came out for Ghost, you kind of thought, uh-oh, it's not going well?
The reviews were disastrous.
Yeah.
For Ghost.
And then people loved it, yeah.
That makes no sense.
They were,
Were they really?
They were awful.
I thought.
They were awful.
Because it'll survive decades, it'll keep going. Yeah.
Forever.
But it was, they were awful. And I thought, wow, I can't trust myself because I actually thought I saw something that was good.
And I love that you are a proper collector. You've kept the pottery you made.
Okay, let's not go wild. My piece of pottery looks like a kindergartner. I mean, literally, my pots are pitiful, but
well, he kept coming up behind you, so...
I mean, very true.
You've got to concentrate, and it's Patrick Swayze hugging you.
Yes, you're right. That's it. Make it
reduces
difficult.
the quality of the work. So that wasn't your fault.
Good point. Thank you.
Wasn't your fault.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Are they on display in your house?
I have them tucked away.
Okay. Do you always save things from movies? Like, did you keep anything from The Substance?
I do. I have when people see the film, you'll see the drug that we're given is this, you know, kind of fluorescent green, yellow substance, and it says the activator on it, and I have one of those.
Because I think what's amazing about you is that you have turned kind of being a real kind of character actor into, well, like, you're the best character actor in the world. Well, you are.
Good Lord, man.
Well, because most character actors are kind of also appearing. You've turned being a character actor into quite a global superstar.
No, I think it's more like some form of schizophrenia that has just worked for me.
Because those characters, they're so big, the Captain Jack Sparrows and Willy Wonka and Mad Hatter and things. Do you come to the set with those fully formed? Or do you work with the director? Or how does it happen that you create those?
Yeah, generally they're born out of whatever they're born out of. You know, I've had, you know, characters born out of, don't get excited, the sauna, you know, being in extreme... Take it easy. Or you can feel him coming on, can't you?
Don't pick on me. The audience are always going to be on your side.
You know, these characters that are born out of, you know, sort of strange, you know, extreme heat or whatever, you know, these thoughts and stuff, and you bring it to set, and then there's what I enjoy, really, is this sort of extreme quiet at the end of the first take, you know. You hear action, you go and do your bit, and then suddenly you hear, cut.
So does that give you pleasure when the studio executives are kind of like, oh my...
Of course, yeah. Of course, I think that's the only way you know you're doing the right thing.
And so do they literally have that conversation with you? Are you doing that for the whole film? Or...
It generally starts with, what is wrong with you? What's happened? What's wrong with you?
Amazing.
Oh, it's horrible, isn't it?
But you come with, you know the kind of...
No, you're just swinging. You have a, you know, a big stick and you start swinging it, kind of thing.
And you just hope that it'll be all right.
He broke a window.
Yeah, sort of.
He threw a lemon through a window.
I did.
Smashed the window.
Yeah, I forgot.
I mean, for us, you know, you're from Wales.
From Wales.
Yeah, Wales. You're
There's
like...
loads of roads for Welsh girls around.
But finally. Yeah. But after Mask of Zorro...
Oh, they thought I was Spanish.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had to go to the red carpet and they go, you know, in Spanish, I go, hola. And all I said was like, gracias, gracias. They couldn't be saying anything about me. I was like, gracias, muchas gracias.
Now, to me, you still have a Welsh accent.
Yeah.
But is that because you're here?
I've been with my mum and dad this whole weekend and my brother, and it gets stronger. Yeah. When I first met Michael, I'd be on the phone to my mother, and I'd get off the phone, he'd say, "Oh, it's beautiful language, that Welsh." I went, "What are you talking about? I'm speaking English."
I have to say, the night you won the BAFTA, you were suddenly the Welshest woman alive.
It's that humble thing that comes on. He's like, "I'm from Swansea, I don't deserve this."
Because you must have had friends there, American friends in the audience.
Yeah.
You mustn't have known what you were doing. With the,
No,
you did the big chant and everything.
I did Oggy Oggy, didn't I? Yeah, I think Wales won that day, actually.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, there was something that jogged my memory about how important Oggy Oggy was in my life, and...
These who are smiling and nodding.
No idea.
Oggy,
If I did the Oggy Oggy, you'd know what to do, right? We can cheer the Americans. Okay. All right. Ready? Oggy Oggy Oggy! Oggy Oggy Oggy! Okay! Okay! Oggy Oggy Oggy! Now you can do that.
Take that home.
Yeah, we're gonna take that back to because ours is like say ho.
Yeah.
In Canada, it's sorry about that.
The book begins, and I don't know if you want to take that, but take the band was over. The band was over. Robbie was at his height. Your solo career had stalled, and you know, and I felt stupid because obviously I knew that wasn't going to be a sort of a laugh or a great experience for you, but I had no idea of just how dark and low that left you.
Yeah, because, you know, it's funny, we had those years in the 90s where everything was just at like 150%. We were just in a washing machine, going on planes, touring the world, being screamed at, everyone telling us we're brilliant, and all of a sudden, I just lost my deal. Robbie went off into the sunset, and you just kind of left with no job. There's nothing else I'm even trained for. Music's all I've ever done. And I was a new dad at the time. We had 2 young kids. As a man, I felt pretty useless at that point.
Yeah.
And
of course, you're famous, so you can't do anything. You know, you can't do anything else.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. And to me, you know, the whole... Because I put on a lot of weight in that period, a lot of depression. But, you know, the funny thing is, looking back and writing this book, it's been really interesting because at first you look back on those times and you go, but it was all right, really. But then when you look again, you go, actually, there's some quite serious issues in
Yeah, no, really.
And I feel like right now, we're in 2018, you know, we know that women are so good at talking about all this stuff. Men never do. And I've really enjoyed just getting in there, talking about what happened. And up to now, the interest has been really lovely from people.
Can't wait to read it.
Yeah.
Well, no, honestly, I suppose a lot of showbiz stories have that dark side, where that's normally where those stories end. And what's extraordinary about this is that you came back from it. And not just, you know, oh, look, he's working it. I mean, you're bigger than ever. And it sort of was kind of accidental, the big comeback.
I just want to hug you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, of course, it's been amazing. I love this, by the way. I'll come back every week just like this. It's been unbelievable. And you know, the one thing that I know I talk about a lot in the book is that our audience, I believe there's no other band out there who has an audience like ours. Our audience have been with us through thick and thin. We've lost band members, we've added band members. They've been through everything, and they're still here showing us amazing support. And I can't thank them enough for that.
And actually, yeah. You, honestly, it is weird. You don't seem to age. Does he?
Thank you. I feel awful on the inside. Aged greatly.
When we first met, I looked younger, and now I think I could be his father.
To be fair, though, Seth, when we met, you were 15, and you looked like you were 37.
I did, yeah. I was like 20 years old.
But no, because often when people grow beard, well, clearly I do, but you know, they are grey or have grey in them. But even yours, beautiful, beautiful beard.
Thank you, thank you. Well, it's starting to come in a little bit right there in the chin.
Oh, please. But actually, we've got a picture of you at Kansas University. I don't know how old you were here, but look how beautiful you are.
As you can see, I don't just grow hair on my face.
Oh, look how happy you are.
I remember taking that picture, and I worked on my hair. I worked on that. I was greatly inspired by Michael Hutchence, who was my hero at the time, and I think I tried to blow it dry, and it came off looking a little more Bon Jovi than I had anticipated.
There's a whiff of Julia Roberts off you in it. You're just beautiful. Just beautiful in that picture.
Big toothy smile.
Yeah. And Sarah Michelle I was just talking to Sarah Michelle backstage. We both thought you'd been on the show.
I thought I'd been on the show, but I'm telling you, I think it's like that thing where I see you and so you're on TV and I think I know you, but I actually don't know you.
But I think it was because Channel 4 days, obviously I was drinking a lot more then. And,
more than this?
Yeah, seriously. More than this, yeah.
They took a bit from Signs, you know, which goes on the water.
Good reference.
Thank you. I thought it deserved more, actually. Oh, no, don't. Show up your arse.
But no, because we had lots of the other Buffy people. I guess we just never had Buffy. I just thought...
I do get that I look like Seth Green a lot, so that could be what it is.
Here's the shocking thing. Did it stop 20 years ago?
A week now, people have been reminding me, but yes, 20 years.
Yeah. Is it lovely, or is it annoying that people would still reference it all these years later?
No, I love that people reference it. I just don't need the actual date and passage of time. Because then it's like, oh, now we realize how old you are. And so otherwise, I feel like it's maybe a little bit of a mystery. Not really.
But no, but aren't there like college courses in Buffy? They're Buffy studies.
There are. There's books about it. There's like philosophical discussions, and there are classes. I haven't attended them personally, but I think it's just sort of about all of the theories about what was actually being said and the psychology behind the monsters and what they actually represented, or just my hair.
You should turn up and do like a seminar or something.
I mean, I would love to, but I would be such a disappointment because like people will come up to me on the show. Do you remember an episode, you know, season 5, episode 4? And I'm like, could you tell me what happened in it? And was I Buffy in that one too? Sometimes I get a little.
You lived.
No, actually I didn't. I died many times on the stage.
Yes.
Yeah, I died many times.
I'm an idiot. Joan's very open about her life. You, Missy, you're like a clam. You're very cool. Well, you married some man, and we then discovered you've been going out with him for 8 years. Nobody knew.
Yeah.
How did you keep that a secret?
Just every time someone asked me if I had a boyfriend, I didn't answer the question. Stupid.
Did he know he was going out with you for 8 years?
So.
Did you take him in public?
I don't
You
remember.
know, for 8 years, did you just say, wait for me here?
I just don't think it was that big a deal. Maybe because we were so healthy and happy, there's nothing exciting about that to people.
No, but you know what I mean? But you were living in Los Angeles, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we kind of think that's impossible for someone like you to have a relationship with someone for that long.
We got lots of paparazzi. We had a really, when we first started dating, we were, you know, very excited and on the balcony and making out, and someone took a picture that, thank God, there was a post, a picket fence post.
What was that protecting?
It was protecting his member, and but he was horrified because we'd only been dating for like 4 months or 5 months or something, and he was like, he didn't understand, you know, how could that happen to him? You know what I mean? That I was used to that kind of stuff, but he wasn't. So it was not to that bit, but you know what I mean.
The neighbors are very bored. No, it's on the balcony again.
It's not. I guess they have amnesia. Like they knew. People knew. I mean, it was. We were caught a lot of places, but it just wasn't. I don't know.
Yeah, you were very careful.
I was careful.
Clever you.
Because Andy, you had kind of an opposite thing when, with 4 Weddings and a Funeral, you were the big star arriving on.
Well, that's what Hugh thought. He thought I was a big star.
You were the big star.
Well, I
and
guess.
He wasn't.
I mean, he hadn't done as much as I had. That's true. And he would tease me and give me a really hard time about that. And he would talk about how his, you know, greatest dream was to have a car that would make that kind of whoosh sound when you shut the door, because he said his car was like a tin can. And now he's got all these, like, I mean, he has, I think, a Ferrari a week or something. He sells them and stuff like that. He's got loads of money, a lot more money than me. And he's huge. You know, he's a great big star, just gigantic.
Yeah.
4 weddings, after 4 weddings, that was that. But he was so good in it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's brilliant. He
And
really
he's a
is
lovely
good.
man.
And he's a lovely man, but I like his latest work a lot. Now he's getting to play. No, because now he's an old dude. He's getting to play like really rich, interesting characters.
Yes, no, he is. He is. I'm just waiting for you to swear again. I'm moving on. You explored different musical genres with your music, and now the Rolling Stones, they asked you, you'd just gone solo. Is this right?
Yes.
And the Rolling Stones said, we love Justin Timberlake, come be part of our world.
Naturally.
Yeah.
It was a charity event that you get a call from I'll just pick this name up after I drop it, Mick Jagger. And he says, we want you to come and play the event. And so I said, sure. It was in Toronto. You would think, I mean, Canadians are historically a peaceful people. And I show up to the show. I look at the bill, and it's the Rolling Stones and AC/DC and the Guess Who, and you get the picture. And like somewhere in there, me. And I just, you know, it was a bit of a blur. But I just remember saying to the band before we went on stage, I don't think this is gonna go well. But little did I know, I had no idea how bad it was going to go, because we came on stage, and all of a sudden, from the first 2 rows of probably, I think this festival in one day housed 500,000 people.
Wow.
So that was crazy. But all of a sudden, bottles of urine were then thrown on the stage. It wasn't always good times for me, you guys. But
500,000, that's a lot of piss, 500,000 people. That's...
Well, just the first 2 rows.
Rows, yeah.
So...
Wait, did they do it
or do they have it like that? All of these questions I had going through my brain as I tried to at least remember lyrics that I actually wrote to the first song that I'm playing. So yeah, it was, I still have...
unanswered questions.
I still have a lot of trauma.
Yeah.
From this incident. And after the first song, the host of the festival comes out and he's like, and I was like, no, man, I'm staying out here. We're doing this. Wow. And so then plastic-contained urine continued to
Rain
fly
down
at us,
on
and
you.
I was having this, like, at the first song, I was at the mic, and I was like, you know, like, moving around and singing at the same time, and I was kind of impressed with myself. And then the second song was Senorita.
I feel for you.
Oh, goodness.
Sorry. No calm.
That's making the story easier to tell. Thank you. And I play a Rhodes electric piano on that song, so then all of a sudden I'm thinking to myself, oh no, I'm immobile. Like, I'm stuck at the piano, so it was this thing. And then after that song, either one of two things happened. Either they ran out of nerve, because they knew that I was gonna stay there, or they ran out of urine. So, kids, be tenacious.
Yeah. That's where it dried up. Beautiful. Inspiring story. You, sir, I was talking about sports there, because you were going to be a sportsman. Is that right? You were going to be a football person?
I thought I was, but no, I was terrible at the sport, actually. Yeah.
Oh, really? I thought
No, I liked to play, but I was not very good.
Oh, I thought you were really good, and then like an injury put playing.
No, I had an injury, but I wasn't very good.
Oh, right, you were just rubbish and fell over.
Yeah, exactly. No, I did get hit, and that did end my career, but it wasn't like it was any big loss for the sporting world.
Oh, because I was putting all sorts of things together, because I was reading about you, and I was got a sports injury, hurt his knee,
right.
And then I read that you turned down Superman because you didn't want to wear tights, and I thought there's a problem with his legs now.
Yeah, everyone just kind of disfigured leg, so out of whack. No, I didn't do Superman, but it was about the tights. It was about the big S on the chest. Once you start, wearing that, then you're branded for life. So
yes. Yeah. I don't remember there was a very big. It was just about Dean Cain when Dean Cain did it. He walked in the uniform to show his mother. I mean, not in the show.
Yeah.
Superman put it on, and he goes, "Does the what does the S look like?" And he's standing there, in the little pants and the thing. Right. And the mother goes, "I don't think people will be looking at the S." Anywho, also very briefly, mentioned Harry and William. Mel C. Have you met them?
I haven't, no.
Oh, you've met them, though, haven't you?
Yeah, I met them a while ago when they were still quite young.
Sober.
And the Spices, yeah, before they'd started boozing. Yeah, we were invited to Highgrove for high tea, and we were picked up, myself and the Spices, Spice Girls, and we went in a helicopter, and we landed on their lawn, and we went in, and it was traditional high tea, so it was cucumber sandwiches. Now, some of the Spice Girls got quite a lot to say, and they don't really like cucumber sandwiches, so we made that known to our hosts, the king, well, the future king of England, and his son, his sons, and we were taken down into the kitchen and made peanut butter on toast by Prince William.
Very nice.
How cool is that? That's a good one, isn't it?
That is. And he knew where the toaster was and everything.
The kitchen was rubbish. Yeah. It wasn't like all stainless steel and posh.
Really?
Yeah, it was a bit, MFI or something.
Magnet. That's where they need to go. Pass it up a little bit.